In the depths of time, long before the rise of civilizations or the forging of empires, there was conflict. A battle etched not in the pages of history, but in the bones of the fallen. This is the story of Jebel Sahaba, the earliest known battleground of humanity. Who were these people? What drove them to such violence? And what can their struggle teach us about the fragile balance of survival and conflict in the prehistoric world? Our story begins in the twilight of the Ice Age, around 13,000 BCE, in what is now northern Sudan. The Nile River was a lifeline, a shimmering thread of life cutting through the arid expanse of the Sahara. But this was a time of change. Climate shifts made resources scarce, and competition for survival intensified. Small groups of hunter-gatherers relied on the Nile's fertile banks for fish, game, and fresh water. But when survival is at stake, coexistence often turns into conflict. We may never know their names, but their struggle has been preserved in the very bones they left behind. The first group, let's call them the river people, likely claimed the Nile as their ancestral hunting ground. The second group, the hill dwellers, were outsiders, nomads driven south by worsening conditions. Tensions escalated as the hill dwellers sought access to the Nile's bounty. The river people refused to yield, setting the stage for an inevitable clash. Armed with spears, stone-tipped arrows, and clubs, the tribes faced off in a brutal battle for survival. The river people, defending their home, were outnumbered but better prepared. They had the advantage of knowing the terrain. The hill dwellers, driven by desperation, were relentless and unpredictable. The fight was savage and unforgiving. Men, women, and even children were drawn into the violence. There was no concept of a civilian in these early conflicts. Everyone was a combatant, and everyone was at risk. When the dust settled, the battle left behind a haunting legacy. Archaeologists have discovered the remains of over 60 individuals, many bearing marks of violent deaths. Embedded arrowheads, crushed bones, and signs of repeated attacks revealed that this wasn't a single skirmish, but a prolonged struggle. The site at Jebel Sahaba offers a window into the violent reality of prehistoric life. These were not random acts of violence, they were organized and systematic. The sheer number of injuries suggests ambushes and retaliatory raids rather than a single decisive battle. The Battle of Jebel Sahaba is more than just a story of conflict. It's a testament to humanity's resilience and adaptability. Faced with scarcity and hardship, these early tribes developed strategies, alliances, and tools of war, foundations that would shape human history for millennia. From these humble beginnings, warfare evolved into an art form, a science, and a driving force of civilization. But the cost of conflict has always been high, a lesson as true today as it was 15,000 years ago. Jebel Sahaba reminds us that even in our earliest days, the struggle for survival was both brutal and transformative. It's a story of conflict, yes, but also of endurance, adaptation, and humanity's unyielding will to overcome. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. What battle or era should we explore next? Let us know in the comments.